Hello and welcome to another Gimp tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to look at making our own meme images. So that's where we take a exploitable image and add text to it with a black outline. It's pretty straightforward, but obviously it's basically 50% of the internet these days, so you probably want to know how to do it. All we need to do really, and this is really straightforward on Photoshop, it's a little bit trickier with the Gimp, but not much, so it should be a pretty quick tutorial. The first thing we're going to need to do is take an exploitable image. So all I mean by an exploitable image is the image that you're going to apply the text to. And over here I've just labelled that exploitable. Now you don't need to do that, I've just done that for the sake of showing you what I'm doing. Once you've got an exploitable image, the next thing you need to do is choose your text tool, which is available over here. If for some reason you've got that switched off, you can find it through tools as well, but it's pretty straightforward. And then you just select the area that you want to type into and then just drag that out a little bit and you just type your text in. Now I'm typing in black to begin with, which isn't what I would normally do. I'd normally just do this straight into white, but obviously I want you to be able to see what I'm typing first. So I just type this in all caps and select it and increase the size just by clicking this up here. I think I'd probably prefer it that way for this one. Now what I'm going to do is actually change the color of this text, because as I said I want it to be white. So I'm just going to click on the little change color box up here, and you can either choose one of your presets or just drag it down into the bottom right hand corner and that will always be white. So now I've got pure white text. Now over in my layers doc over here, you can see that above my exploitable image I've also got the text layer. If I right click that text layer and go down to text to path, what that's done is drawn a path around where that text is, just the edge of the text. And you'll also see that in the layer doc above it I've got some tabs open up here. Now you might not have all of these, but the one I'm interested in is this paths one, which you should have by default. Now if you've accidentally switched this off or lost it, which happens fairly regularly, it's pretty easy to get back. Basically anytime you lose a tools dialog box, you can get it back by finding the other tools dialog boxes that you've got here. So I've got 3 set up. I've got this section over here, this section over here, and this section down here, and you'll notice that in each one there's this little triangle, and that basically allows us to get to all of these options. If I ever lose one of my tabs, I can just go to add tab from any of those, and if you lose your layers you can get it back there, or if you lose paths you can get it back there, and then they can just be dragged to the appropriate part of the screen. But I'll look at that properly in another tutorial. It's just if you don't have it for the moment, that's how you get it back. So with my path tool, with my path that I've got there, if I just click the eyeball that's there, it just gives it a faint red outline so you can kind of see what it says. And what I'm going to need to do is, I've already got this set to black, so that's fine. So what we're going to do now is stroke a path, or stroke a line around that path that we've got drawn out. So we can do that just by clicking this button down here, which is the paint along the path option. So we just click that, and I've got it set to stroke line a solid color, and the solid color it will pick will be the color that you've got there, so you want to make sure that's black. I've got anti-aliasing switched on, and I've also got a line width of 2 pixels. Now you might decide you want it a little bit thicker than that, but that's just your own personal taste really. So once I've got that set up like this, I just hit stroke, and at the moment it kind of looks a little bit red, but that's only because the path is still visible. So if I make the path invisible, there we have our black text. So then I just need to repeat that process for the line of text along the bottom. So I just go back into layers, click on the exploitable, click on the text tool, click down here and drag it out so I can write in it. And I've forgotten what the punchline to this was. I'll just go back to the same one I had before. So I'm just going to select that, make it nice and big. And you don't need to use set sizes for this, you just fill up the frame, set it to white because that's the color I want, and then over here we go back over to our layer for this line of text, we'll right click it, go text to path, and then go back to our paths dialog. We need to select this path, so it shows you the path that you've got there. So path number 1 is actually the second path I did. The original path doesn't have a number with it. If you're unsure, you can just right click to, you can just click the eyeball on and off and see what flashes. So with that path selected, I'm just going to hit stroke path again. All of the settings will remain the same, so I can just hit stroke, and then finally I just turn that off again. So that gives us our final, our 3 layers that we can work with. The next thing you need to do is merge those 3 layers. So the easiest way is just to press Control and M for McDonald's, or for merge, because that's what it stands for. And then we get 3 options here. We're just going to say expand as necessary and merge. That gives us 1 layer. And then finally, when we save this, Gimp 2.8, I haven't pointed this out at any point yet, but Gimp 2.8, instead of letting you save it as a JPEG, it now wants you to export it. So you just hit export, and you can either do it as a PNG file or a JPEG or whatever you want. But basically you just type in your file name, hit export, and then that will produce the image for you to upload to the internet, just so there's one more meme image on the internet, because that's what it's missing. Anyway, I hope you found this fun and easy to follow, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.